Chapter 51. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. 51 Abyss, Level Tower of Trials. 2. Chu Bai returned to the village chief. He felt that Huang Xian should be an important expert in the Divine Phoenix Empire. If this mission could be completed, Chu Bai would definitely complete it. He looked at the leaderboard. At level 19, he was still in first place. The others were all at level 9, but they were probably close to level 10 now. He had to leave the village quickly. Besides, he could only look at the level rankings in the Hua Nation. What if others from elsewhere had already reached level 10? There were many foreign experts. Village Chief. I'm here. The village chief nodded at Chu Bai. Get ready for the trial. Chu Bai nodded. All right. The village chief then brought Chu Bai to an empty backyard. With a wave of his hand, a hexagram star array appeared in front of him. This 6-pointed star array will take you into the Tower of Trials. After you pass the test of the Tower of Trials, you can leave the village. This trial was left behind by the 3 goddesses. The goal is to find the Son of God of our human race. How do I find him? Chu Bai asked. The Tower of Trials is divided into 7 levels. Red, orange, red, green, cyan, blue, and purple. They correspond to the levels of simple, normal, difficult, extremely difficult, nightmare, hell, and abyss. In theory, the person who enters the abyss. Level Tower of Trials and passes it is the Son of God, but this is only in theory. Over the past 10,000 years, countless people in our village have wanted to leave the village and go to the land of destiny. For us, the only way out is to pass the abyss. Level Tower of Trials. There have been countless people who have made the attempt, but no one has ever come out. No one has dared to step into it for a long time. The abyss. Level trial makes it impossible for one to come out alive. Then, the village head looked at Chu Bai. Brother Bai Yi, it's time for you to choose your trial level. Based on my understanding of you, you can choose the green level, which has the difficulty level of nightmare. Although it's dangerous, I think you can pass it. Chu Bai muttered, I'm going to the purple abyss level for training. The purple abyss level trial is also fine. Wait, what? The abyss. Level trial. The village chief revealed a shocked expression, then he looked at Chu Bai. Brother Bai Yi, you can't do that. No one has ever passed the abyss. Level Tower of Trials. You have to think twice before you act. Chu Bai said, Village Chief, I've already thought it through. I'll go to the abyss. Level Tower of Trials. From the first game he played, he had chosen the most difficult options. He had occasionally failed, but he always had a chance to revive. Chu Bai also knew how much he could gain from the most difficult trial. Many of the reasons he could succeed were that he took risks out of desperation. Therefore, he would definitely choose the most difficult trial this time. This was despite no one having ever passed this trial. Ah, all right. The village chief sighed. He had no right to interfere with Chu Bai's choice. Brother Bai Yi, let me remind you again. No one has passed the abyss. Level Tower of Trials for the past 10,000 years. It's not just my village. Tens of thousands of people from other villages have also failed. There's no chance of survival. Do you still want to enter? Chu Bai nodded. Let's go in. Good. Then, all I can do is wish you good luck. After the village chief finished speaking, the 6-pointed star array turned purple. Good luck. Thank you, village chief. Chu Bai stepped into the purple 6-pointed star formation. In the next moment, his figure disappeared. I hope you can make a miracle, the village chief muttered to himself. Ding! You've arrived at the abyss. Level Tower of Trials. Chapter 52. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. 52. The first floor, the bloodthirsty man eating flower lights came flashing. Chu Bai's figure was standing in a stone cave. There was nothing worth paying attention to in the surroundings, only the light pillar. It should be a teleportation array. After entering it, one would be able to directly enter the first floor of the Tower of Trials. Lil Schwer. Whoosh! Lil Schwer appeared beside Chu Bai, wagging her tail and running around Chu Bai happily. It's going to be a difficult battle. Good luck. Woo-woo, Lil Schwer called out. Then, Chu Bai brought Lil Schwer and stepped into the pillar of light. The two of them disappeared. Ding! You've arrived at the first floor of the Abyss. Level trial. Chu Bai opened his eyes. It was a world of green. He was surrounded by trees. The area was not big, and there were a few huge flowers that caught Chu Bai's attention. Each one was about 3 meters tall. At the top of the stem was a big red flower. This big red flower was very big, probably the size of a person. It hung there. At this moment, the huge flowers moved. The initially drooping flowers were raised. Chu Bai's pupils shrank. These flowers were indeed monsters. They were a little terrifying. The huge flowers looked a little like sunflowers, and in the middle, there were even a pair of huge red eyes on each of them. What was scary was not their eyes but their huge mouths. Their bloody mouths were full of sharp teeth. Disgusting mucus was on the teeth, and some of it was even dripping to the ground. Bloodthirsty man-eating flower. Grade: Bronze Boss. Level: 15, HP, 6000. A carnivorous plant. Type monster. It moves slowly but is extremely terrifying. It is poisonous and likes to swallow its prey in one bite. Abyssal monster buff bonus. Immune to flying, freezing, dizziness, and control effects. Skill: Vine Whip. It uses its vines to quickly whip targets for a maximum of 3 seconds, causing multiple damage counts per second and poisoning for 5 seconds, reducing 100 HP points per second. Cooldown: 20 seconds. Devour. It uses its huge mouth to swallow the target directly into its stomach. Once the target is completely devoured, the target will die. Cooldown time: 30 seconds. Fatal Poison Powder. It releases poison powder to spread in all directions, poisoning all targets touched by the poison powder. At the same time, there is a 5% chance of triggering an instant death effect every second. Duration: 10 seconds. Cooldown time: 10 minutes. Photosynthesis. It chants for 2 seconds to recover 50% of maximum health after release. Cooldown time: 30 minutes. Chu Bai used the God-slaying calamity. As expected of an Abyss. Level trial. On the first floor, there were a total of 5 level 15 bronze bosses. Everything else aside, attacking 5 bronze bosses alone was already extremely difficult for a level 10 player. Furthermore, the strength of these bronze bosses was simply ridiculous. With the Abyss. Level monster buff, they were immune to control effects, which could directly seal off the player's escape route. Looking at the bloodthirsty man-eating flowers skills, the first skill directly dealt multi-damage counts. Devour was a skill that could instantly kill a person. The most ridiculous thing was the fatal poison powder. For 10 seconds, there was a 5% chance of instant death every second. After 10 seconds, there was a 50% chance of instant death. This time, he was not dealing with just one bloodthirsty man-eating flower wither. There were 5 of them, and if they each used the skill, that would be a total of 50 seconds. Was the probability of instant death inevitable? Unless Chu Bai was extremely lucky. Not only that, but each bloodthirsty man-eating flower could also recover 50% of its maximum health points. Lil Schwer, find a safe spot. Woo-woo, Lil Schwer directly jumped onto a tree. Holy moment. Lil Schwer released the holy moment at Chu Bai. Ding. You've been blessed by the divine. Chu Bai held the god-slaying calamity and charged toward the nearest blood-eating flower. He wanted to kill one of them first. Triple Flame Slash. Swoosh. 740, 740, 1480. With an attack of 370, Lil Schwer's attack power was increased by 100%. Ignoring the defense, the damage was still quite considerable, especially in the third stage, which doubled the damage. The damage directly exceeded 10,000, but unfortunately, it did not trigger the double damage effect of Divine Slaughter. However, it could be instantly killed. The bloodthirsty man-eating flower was immune to the flying effect of the third stage of the Triple Flame Slash, but it did not matter. The bloodthirsty man-eating flower immediately threw out several vines at Chu Bai. Once hit, there would be several waves of damage in an instant. However, Chu Bai had an amazing skill. Blade Waltz. He released the waltz, and Chu Bai entered the non-selection state. The vines hit nothing, and Chu Bai turned into a white sword light that pierced through the flower's body. Swoosh. 740, 740, 1480. Ding. You've triggered the 200% damage effect of Divine Slaughter. During this time, the bloodthirsty man-eating flower used photosynthesis. However, Blade Waltz was too fast, dealing 5 lunging damage per second. The bloodthirsty man-eating flower had just chanted its photosynthesis skill, but its health bar was already emptied. One was instantly killed, and Chu Bai's Blade Waltz returned to its cooldown. Blade Waltz. After that, Chu Bai took advantage of the amplification effect and released the waltz skill at the second closest flower. 740, 740, 1480, 740, 740. This bloodthirsty man-eating flower's health bar was directly emptied by more than half. Chu Bai landed on the ground and immediately used an assault skill with unlimited powerful skills. 1110, the second bloodthirsty man-eating flower was directly hit by Chu Bai and received 5550 damage. Just a little bit more. Chu Bai did not hesitate at all. He directly withstood the bloodthirsty man-eating flower's attack and forcefully slashed out one last time. 740. 2 were killed in an instant. 97. A small damage figure appeared above Chu Bai's head. After all, Chu Bai's defense was as high as 202. However, thinking about it, if his defense was not so high, would he not have lost more than 200 HP points in an instant? After that, Chu Bai quickly pulled away and used a medium mana recovery potion. The other 3 bloodthirsty man-eating flowers were already in position. They surrounded Chu Bai. Chapter 53. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. 53. Earthfire Beast, Flame Blast. The skill, Sudden Strike, obtained from unlimited ultimate skills was a bit similar to Swordsman's Slash. The damage was 150%. Although it could be used infinitely, facing the attacks of the 3 bloodthirsty man-eating flowers, Chu Bai definitely could not use it infinitely. Whoosh! After that, Chu Bai charged toward one of the bloodthirsty man-eating flowers. Vine Whip. The 3 flowers sandwiched Chu Bai in the middle and used the skill at the same time. Countless vines whipped toward Chu Bai, who was in the middle. Sudden Strike. Whoosh! Chu Bai rushed to the back of a bloodthirsty man-eating flower and left the dangerous area. As soon as he turned around, he found that the bloodthirsty man-eating flower behind him had opened its bloody mouth and was about to bite him. Chu Bai's pupils shrank. F***ck. I was too careless. He was able to react in time, but his in-game attributes restricted him. He could run, but he could not run as fast as he wanted. Woo-woo! At this moment, Lil Schwer rushed over and kicked the bloodthirsty man-eating flower with her little legs, then ran away. 1. With this kick, Chu Bai was able to escape. Well done! Chu Bai praised. Woo-woo! Lil Schwer raised her head and called out happily. However, This blood-eating flower had its eyes on Lil Xuer now and was chasing after her. Chu Bai charged forward with his sword in hand. 740. As for the other two flowers, one of them was chasing after Chu Bai while the other was trembling and sending out green pollen. Fatal Poison Powder. Ding! You've received the skill of Fatal Poison Powder. Execute it. Chu Bai and Lil Xuer immediately moved to the other side of the battlefield. At least it would take time for the poisonous powder to reach them. However, when the bloodthirsty man-eating flower used the fatal poison powder, it kept moving, so the poison powder kept falling as it moved. Forget it, Lil Xuer. Light of the Holy Spirit. Chu Bai was immune to instant death and poisoning, but Lil Xuer was not. Therefore, he could only let Lil Xuer release the light of the Holy Spirit. The light enveloped Chu Bai and Lil Xuer. This way, Chu Bai would not have to worry about Lil Xuer. He recovered 10% of his maximum health points every second. Chu Bai planned to directly deal damage to the bloodthirsty man-eating flower. Fatal Poison Powder. Chu Bai also used this ultimate skill he had obtained. A large amount of poisonous powder emerged from the top of his head. The bloodthirsty man-eating flower was immune to control, but it was not immune to these effects. 100. 100. The bloodthirsty man-eating flower that was hit by the poisonous powder would suffer 100 points worth of damage from the top of its head every second. Sudden Strike. With a sudden attack, Chu Bai rushed over. In the last 2 seconds of the 30-second boost from the holy moment, Chu Bai dealt 3 levels of damage. 1110, 740, 740. The damage had almost cleared half of the bloodthirsty man-eating flower's health bar. The pollen fell. Ding! You're immune to the effects of poisoning. Meanwhile, Lil Xuer was running non-stop. A bloodthirsty man-eating flower was chasing her. Lil Xuer, hang in there. Chu Bai glanced then continued to attack the bloodthirsty man-eating flower despite the damage. His attacks rained down like a storm. Of course, there was still a limit to his attack speed. 370, 370, 740, 97, 96, 98, 90. Within a second, Chu Bai had been whipped 4 times by the bloodthirsty man-eating flower's vines. He had not even hit the bloodthirsty man-eating flower 4 times in a second. If it were any other player, they would have been killed instantly. However, Chu Bai was immune to all negative effects. He also had Lil Xuer and her strong defense and attack power. That was why he could fight like this. When he was about to kill it, the photosynthesis skill was released. Plus 3000 Motherf * Cur. Sudden Strike. Sudden Strike. 0.555, 0.100, 0.555, 0.100. Chu Bai was too lazy to waste his time with these monsters. Although he could slowly wait for them to be poisoned to death, they could still use the photosynthesis skill. Lil Xuer was still being chased, so he directly endured the damage. The main reason Chu Bai could fight like this was that these flowers did not have the ability to kill him instantly. The two of them were attacking Chu Bai, and Chu Bai took their attacks head-on. Ding! The bloodthirsty man-eating flowers have triggered the instant death effect. One of them had its health bar emptied out and fell to the ground. The one that Chu Bai was dealing damage to was also killed by him. I'm coming. Chu Bai charged toward the last bloodthirsty man-eating flower. Triple Flame / Blade Waltz. 0.370, 0.370, 0.740, 0.370. The 2 skills that were on cooldown previously were released in succession. The monster only had 2/3 of its health left, so it was instantly killed by the 3 times double damage of the god-slaying calamity. Lil Xuer stopped and ran to Chu Bai's side. She cast heavenly healing on Chu Bai, and Chu Bai's health bar was fully restored. Ding! Congratulations, you've passed the first floor of the Abyss. Level Tower of Trials. All 4 basic attributes have permanently +5. Chu Bai was pleasantly surprised. A total of 20 attribute points was equivalent to 4 levels. It was also because of Lil Xuer that Chu Bai was able to fight like this. Of course, it was also because of the life potion that made him immune to all negative effects. It was also because Lil Xuer's Light of the Holy Spirit had a short cooldown. If the cooldown had been longer, Chu Bai would not have allowed her to use it at any time. Additionally, Chu Bai and Lil Xuer were a great counter to the bloodthirsty man. Eating flowers. No matter how bad Chu Bai's attributes were, he could still slowly kill them. You don't add experience or drop equipment. Chu Bai took a look and confirmed it. Let's take a break and go to the next floor. Chu Bai said as he patted Lil Xuer. He was also recovering his magical power. However, they did not give him any time to rest. The 2 of them disappeared and appeared on the next floor almost immediately. Ding! You've entered the 2nd floor of the Abyss. Level Tower of Trials. In front of him was a sea of fire. The space was still not big. It was flat, but everything was bare with only a few broken rocks. Boom! Suddenly, flames erupted in front of Chu Bai. Lil Xuer was shocked and quickly jumped onto Chu Bai's shoulder. Boom! Another spot erupted in flames. That's too brutal. There's even random fire eruption. I wonder how high the damage is, Chu Bai muttered to himself. In front of him, a group of monsters was charging toward Chu Bai. It was a group of huge, flaming, dog-like monsters. Their bodies were fiery red, and they seemed to be wearing black-red armor. They seemed to be very fast. Earthfire Beast. Grade: Bronze Boss. Level: 20, HP 11,000. A powerful fire-type monster with quick speed, high attack power, and average defense. Extremely terrifying. Abyss. Level Monster Buff. Additional 30% damage. Skills: Flame Strike. Charges toward the target and attacks once. The attack deals high damage and has a 100% chance of having a 3-second burn effect. Cooldown time: 20 seconds. Burning Heart. Fills the body with flames to obtain powerful buffs. Effect: attack increased by 50%, movement speed increased by 50%, and recovers 200 HP every second for 10 seconds. Cooldown time: 1 minute. High Temperature Hell. Creates a high temperature hell within 20 meters of the user. All enemies within range will have their attack reduced by 30%, movement speed reduced by 30%, and defense reduced by 30%. Furthermore, there's a 100% chance of having a burning effect, and the scorching hell will last for 10 seconds. Cooldown time: 2 minutes. Raging Inferno. Turns into a fireball and rushes to opponents. Whether it hits the opponents or the ground, it'll cause an explosion effect within a 5-meter range. If it hits, it'll cause great damage and has a 100% chance of a 10-second burning effect. It will deal double damage to the burning opponent. Cooldown time: 1 minute. Chapter 54. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. 54. The Tower of Trials. 3rd floor. On the 2nd floor, there were 5 level .20 bronze bosses. It was ridiculous. Normally, players who entered the Tower of Trials would only be at level 10. Not only were there level .20 monsters here, but they were also all bosses. Perhaps this was the trial of the Abyss level. The Earthfire Beast was an extremely powerful attack-type monster. The Abyss Trials buff for the Earthfire Beast was a 30% increase in damage. The beast's 4 skills fully displayed its combat and damage. Lil Xuer, protect yourself. I'll go after the monsters, Chu Bai said to Lil Xuer. Woo! Lil Xuer nodded. Monsters had a common mechanism, and that was the one who dealt the most damage to them would be the one they attacked. Of course, not all monsters had such a mechanism, but Chu Bai believed that the Earth Fire Beast was a low-level monster, so it should have such a mechanism. Nothing must happen to Lil Xuer. As long as she was around, Chu Bai would be relatively safe. Triple Flame Slash. He still used Triple Flame Slash as his first skill. The first strike was a vertical sword energy, which directly hit an Earth Fire Beast. 380. The second was the horizontal sword energy. 3 Earth Fire Beasts were hit. The third strike was a leap attack. Chu Bai jumped up and smashed down. 760. The 3 Earth Fire Beasts within range were sent flying. As for the other 2, they charged at Chu Bai from 2 different directions. He dodged to the side to avoid one of them, but he could not avoid the other. 1.201. A huge damage value appeared above Chu Bai's head. If his defense was not high enough, this attack would have dealt nearly 400 damage points. Plus 201. Lil Xuer used Heavenly Healing on Chu Bai. Chu Bai steadied his body and charged toward the Earth Fire Beast that was attacking him. He dodged one of the attacks in a Z shape and charged toward the other. 380. At this moment, one of the Earth Fire Beasts turned into flames and charged at Chu Bai at an extremely fast speed. Big move, Raging Flames. Ding! You've received the ultimate skill, Raging Inferno. Chu Bai's attack had just landed, and before he could even react, the Earth Fire Beast closed in on him with such a powerful move. Even if he wanted to, he could not escape in time, but he had an awesome skill. Blade Waltz. Boom. As the loud sound rang out, Chu Bai's position was directly bombarded. Chu Bai used the waltz skill in time, causing him to enter a state where he could not choose to attack. In turn, he would not be attacked either. Swoosh! His figure shuttled back and forth 5 times on one of the Earth Fire Beasts. 380, 380, 3800, 380, 380. Ding! You've triggered the 10,000% damage of the God-slaying calamity. One of the attacks directly triggered 10 times the damage, and the Earth Fire Beast's HP bar was instantly reduced by nearly half. Chu Bai landed on the ground. What a pity. If I had Lil Xuer's boost, I would have been able to kill it in seconds. Lil Xuer's holy moment was on cooldown. However, after landing on the ground, Chu Bai's entire body was engulfed in flames. Raging Inferno. Raging Inferno. Turns into a fireball and rushes to the opponents. Whether it hits the opponents or the ground, it'll cause an explosion effect within a 5-meter range. If hit, it'll cause 200% attack damage and 100% additional burning effect for 10 seconds. It'll deal double damage to already burned targets. Cooldown time. None. Chu Bai had been waiting to release this skill. The previous Blade Waltz was just to dodge the skill. Boom. Chu Bai charged toward an Earth Fire Beast. 760. One of the Earth Fire Beasts was directly hit. 150, 150. Then, it continued to lose HP. I'll kill you in seconds. Chu Bai used another Raging Inferno and charged over. The Earth Fire Beast roared, and its body burst into flames. The buff skill, Burning Heart, had a 10-second effect and recovered 200 HP per second. However, it was currently in a burnt state, which meant that the damage of Chu Bai's Raging Inferno had doubled again. Boom. 520. Again. The 5 monsters were focused on Chu Bai, so Lil Xuer was safe and able to heal Chu Bai at any time. Boom. 3040. The double damage from the God-slaying calamity was triggered again, and the damage instantly exploded. Sudden Strike. Whoosh. O.org. 760. As soon as he landed, he immediately used Sudden Strike and instantly killed an Earth Fire Beast. There were 4 more. These 4 earth fire beasts also used Burning Heart to enhance themselves and then charged at Chu Bai from 4 directions. They could not be dodged. In that case, Raging Inferno. Chu Bai immediately released this move on the spot. Boom. 1, 520. All 4 of them were hit. However, this skill did not have any knock-off effects. After it landed, a burning claw clawed at Chu Bai's chest. 430. Ding! You're immune to burn effects. Behind him, there was another claw. 201. Another claw. 201. Chu Bai did not panic at all. The only reason he dared to do such AoE damage was that he had calculated Lil Schwer's cooldown. Plus 832. Chu Bai's blood volume instantly rose to full. Again. Sudden strike. Chu Bai chose an earth fire beast and immediately attacked it from behind. 760. The earth fire beast landed behind Chu Bai and gave him a bite. 230. Chu Bai, on the other hand, released triple flame / .760, .760, .1520. Boom! 2 of them were sent flying by Chu Bai. After they were sent flying, Chu Bai used another Raging Inferno. Boom! There was a loud bang. 3040. This triggered double damage from the God-slaying calamity. The health of the 3 monsters was instantly reduced, and they entered a burnt state at the same time. The 4 Earthfire beasts also released the skill High Temperature Hell. Ding! You're immune to burn effects. Ding! You're immune to the attribute debuffs. To Chu Bai, this skill was useless. Taking advantage of the fact that they were being burned, Chu Bai directly used Flame Strike. 520 Blade Waltz. 380, 380, 760 with full damage, he instantly killed one. Then, the cooldown of Blade Waltz was reset, and he cast it on another low HP monster. Instant kill. The third one was killed instantly. Now, there was only one Earthfire beast left, which had a relatively large amount of HP. As for the last one, Chu Bai only needed to dodge its attack for a while before he could kill it. However, boom! A burst of flames suddenly erupted from beneath Chu Bai. 1000. The huge damage caused Chu Bai's low health bar to drop to the bottom, and Chu Bai was sent flying. Chu Bai was shocked. F***ck. He had forgotten about this. When the Earthfire beast saw Chu Bai's low HP, it immediately went crazy. With Raging Inferno, it charged toward Chu Bai. Chu Bai could not dodge this attack because he had yet to get up after being sent flying. Lil Schwer, you don't need to cast the light of the Heavenly Fox, just the light of the Holy Spirit will do. Chu Bai shouted. Their hearts were connected, and he knew that at this moment, Lil Schwer wanted to use her invincible skill, the light of the Heavenly Fox, to save Chu Bai's life. However, Chu Bai wanted her to keep it because this skill had a 12-hour cooldown. Lil Schwer was anxious, but her first reaction was to listen to Chu Bai's orders. The light of the Holy Spirit was released, and 10% of the maximum health points would be recovered in the first second. Plus 177. Chu Bai instantly used a small health potion and a medium health potion. Plus 100, plus 200. Chu Bai's HP instantly rose to 597. It would not be able to kill him in seconds and now. 577. A huge damage value appeared above Chu Bai's head. Plus 177. Chu Bai had already stood up and put some distance between them. Both potions had a 5-second cooldown, and he could recover 10% of his maximum health points every second. He only needed to stall for time and be careful not to be hit by the flames. 5 seconds later, it was Chu Bai's time to counter-attack. This time, he was no longer careless. Lil Schwer's heavenly healing had also finished its cooldown. Plus 885. His health bar was full. In the end, Chu Bai finished off the last Earth Fire Beast with the help of the Sharp Blade Waltz. Ding! Congratulations, you've passed the Abyss. Level Tower of Trials 2nd floor. All 4 basic attributes plus 5. He took a deep breath and quickly went to the rock where Lil Schwer was. This rock was unaffected by the Earth Fire Beasts. Lil Schwer immediately pounced into Chu Bai's arms and rubbed against him. It was obvious that she was extremely worried. My problem is that I forgot about the flames erupting from the ground. Don't worry, I won't be careless in the future. Chu Bai rubbed her. Lil Schwer nodded. Chu Bai had indeed been careless. He was clearly facing such a difficult trial, yet he was still careless. He had to be 120% vigilant. As expected, they were not given time to rest and adjust. Chu Bai had only just gained 1 mana point when he entered the 3rd floor with Lil Schwer. Ding! You've entered the 3rd floor of the Tower of Trials. Chapter 55. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. 55 Ice Giants. Chu Bai opened his eyes. It was a world of ice and snow. Ding! The current temperature is cold. You can't keep warm enough, so your HP has dropped. 0.30, 0.30, 0.30. Chu Bai's head was losing blood. He was losing 30 HP every second, and so was Lil Schwer. This kind of state was not considered a negative effect. It was not freezing as Chu Bai was immune to freezing. This kind of effect was similar to being very cold, so it caused some harm to the human body. It was an environmental effect. After all, Chu Bai entered with his body, and his body was that of an ordinary person. It was truly cold. 30 HP in 1 second, 300 HP in 10 seconds. This is bad. I'll have to finish this level as soon as possible. Although he had Lil Schwer and he still had health potions, there were still monsters he had to defeat. He had to minimize the damage he got from the monsters on this floor. The key was to see what kind of monster it was. Chu Bai took a step, and then, he almost slipped. F***CK. How am I supposed to fight? He needed special anti-slip shoes. The 1st and 2nd floors were basically not challenges that other players could pass alive. Luckily, Chu Bai had unlimited ultimate skills, Lil Schwer, and the Water of Life. These 3 were indispensable. Without them, Chu Bai might not be able to pass the first 2 floors. The 3rd floor was even more brutal. It directly affected Chu Bai's environment. Chu Bai tried to take a few steps. It was okay. However, it was really easy to fall if one were to run. In front of him, a few huge figures broke out of the ice. There were 5 huge figures. Each of them was at least 5 meters tall. They were like giants formed from ice crystals. They were human-shaped and had red eyes. They looked very strong, but there was nothing special about them. Ice Giant. Level 15, Grade Gray, Silver Boss. HP 16,000, born in a cold space, its movements are relatively slow, but its attack and defense are extremely strong. Abyssal. Level Monster Buff Bonus. Defense increased by 100%. Skills, Icicle Sting. Condenses 5 icicles and shoots them at an extremely fast speed at the target. Each icicle will deal damage and has a 50% chance of freezing the target for 3 seconds and a 50% chance of causing frostbite for 5 seconds. Cooldown time 20 seconds. Mystic Ice Protection. Charges up power for 1 second to release the powerful Mystic Ice Protection. Attack power plus 100%, defense plus 300%, movement speed 0.100%, and lasts for 15 seconds. Cooldown time 1 minute. Chaotic Frost Burst. Chooses a 20-meter range to cast Chaotic Frost Burst. Target will receive damage every second, target's movement speed will be reduced by 50%, and target will enter a frozen state. At the same time, there's a 10% chance of being frozen for 3 seconds every second. Cooldown time: 5 minutes. Chu-Bai was speechless. It was ridiculous. The monsters on this floor had a 100% defense buff. As monsters with high defense, the Ice Crystal Giants' defense was already very high. If their defense was doubled, even a level .15 silver grade boss would not be able to break through their defense. There was also the skill, Dark Ice Barrier, which had a 1-minute cooldown and a duration of 15 seconds. The surrounding environment also made him lose 30 HP every second. It was clear that the purpose of this floor was to exhaust the challengers to death. Even if he had Lil Schwer, he would probably be exhausted to death. After all, Lil Schwer's mana would also be depleted. However, the God-slaying Calamity ignored defense. Even if the Ice Giant's defense was 10 million, it would still be ignored. However, from here, one could see just how tough the abyss. Level of the Tower of Trials was. If Chu-Bai did not have the God-slaying Calamity, he would have died of exhaustion here, not to mention the other players. Lil Schwer, as usual, you just need to find a place to hide and heal me. Lil Schwer nodded. As long as Lil Schwer was within the skill's range, it would be fine. Then, Chu-Bai charged toward the 5 ice giants with 16,000 HP. There was only one purpose for him to rush over, and that was to attract aggro. This floor was very simple. Chu-Bai only needed to force one of them to use its ultimate move, and then Chu-Bai would be able to kill them from far away. Sudden Strike. Whoosh. 390, Sudden Strike. 390. After 5 consecutive attacks, Chu-Bai successfully pulled the aggro of the 5 ice giants. The ice giants swung their huge arms at Chu-Bai, but Chu-Bai dodged them nimbly. Their movements were relatively slow. However, once Chu-Bai was hit, the damage should be higher than the Earth Fire Beast's damage bonus. In the next instant, icicles formed in front of the 5 ice giants' chests. This was Icicle Sting. One ice giant would throw out 5 icicles, so a total of 25 icicles were thrown. With Chu-Bai's current movement speed and mobility, there was no way he could dodge all of them. However, whoosh! When the icicles shot over from multiple directions, Chu-Bai immediately released Blade Waltz. This skill was simply too useful. In addition to dealing damage, it could also force a state where he could not attack or be attacked. It could even avoid many fatal skills. Was this skill not a bit similar to invincibility? However, it only lasted for 1 second. Chu-Bai landed on the ground. There were no more icicles. Lil Schwer, release Holy Moment, Chu-Bai called out. Lil Schwer's body burst out with white light. At the same time, Chu-Bai's body also glowed with white light. Ding! You've been blessed by the Holy Moment. Triple Flame Slash. Chu-Bai only attacked one of the ice giants because his goal was clear. He only needed to reduce the boss health so that it would release its ultimate skill. Although these monsters would amplify their moves as they fought, they would definitely use their ultimate skills if their HP was still high. 1, 560, 1, 560, 6, 240. F***CK. Chu-Bai was shocked by the damage he dealt. Then, he saw the damage number. It was a bold weak point attack. The ice giant's weakness was fire, so the damage was doubled. Chu-Bai's damage of 390 points immediately rose to 780 points. Lil Schwer's Holy Moment's damage was doubled to 1,560. The third part of the attack doubled it further to 3,120, and the third part happened to trigger the double damage of God-slaying Calamity. It directly exploded. The ice giant was clearly shocked by the damage. It immediately released Mystic Ice Protection. However, no matter how it protected its body, it was useless against Chu-Bai. Then, Chaotic Frostburst was charging up. After it finished charging, the area under Chu Bai's feet was filled with chaotic frostburst. Ding! You've received the skill, Chaotic Frostburst. Ding! You're immune to speed reduction effects. Ding! You're immune to frostbite. .307. A huge amount of damage appeared above Chu Bai's head. 2 seconds later, he managed to escape from chaotic frostburst. Lil Shuer. Lil Shuer understood him very well. She immediately released heavenly healing and the light of the Holy Spirit on Chu Bai. His HP was full. Chaotic Frostburst. An ultimate skill from of the Ice Giants. It'll cast Chaotic Frostburst in a 20-meter radius. The target will receive damage equal to their own magic attack power every second. During this period, movement speed will be reduced by 50%, and they'll enter a frozen state. At the same time, there's a 10% chance of freezing the target for 3 seconds every second. Cooldown time. None. F***CK. This is a little awkward. This damage was equivalent to his magic attack power. Chu Bai's magic attack power was only 140, so the efficiency of killing monsters was probably not high, but he won in terms of endurance and a large area. Forget it, I can kill it anyway. It's my turn. Chu Bai looked at the 5 ice giants. Chaotic Frostburst. Chu Bai extended his hand and prepared a powerful move. The 5 ice giants that were running over were immediately surrounded by chaotic frostburst. However, these monsters seemed to only be affected by the speed reduction effect, and neither frost nor ice damage was effective. 140, 140, 140. Chu Bai kept releasing chaotic frostburst, preventing them from breaking free of the speed reduction. Eddie Lil Shuer, let's distance ourselves. Chu Bai and Lil Shuer healed themselves while distancing themselves from these monsters. They relied on chaotic frostburst to slowly grind them to death. Although Chu Bai and Lil Shuer were losing HP, they could still hold on. Chu Bai could take advantage of this time to recover, and Lil Shuer could also recover some mana. Lil Shuer's method of recovering her magical power was too slow, so Chu Bai gave her magical power recovery potions. Ding! Congratulations, you've passed the 3rd floor of the Abyss. Level trial. All 4 basic attributes plus 5. Then, there was a flash of light, and Chu Bai and Lil Shuer were brought to the 4th level. Ding! You've arrived at the 4th floor of the Abyss. Level Tower of Trials. Chapter 56. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. 56 Gold, Grade Boss, Aurora Thunderbolt Beasts. The 4th floor. The moment Chu Bai landed, he felt his hair stand on end. As expected, other than his fine hair, the hair on his head also stood up. Woo! Little Shuer's hair was also standing up, making her very unhappy. She kept wiping it away. Lightning. Chu Bai sensed that the entire space was filled with static. However, it was still alright. It did not seem to be like the 2nd and 3rd floors, where the environment could affect him. He was not losing any HP, nor did he feel any numbing effects. It's still alright. If there's a certain percentage of paralysis every second, that would be too ridiculous, Chu Bai muttered. Losing HP was already the limit. If there was still a chance of being paralyzed every second, then this Abyss trial would be too terrifying. Ding! You're immune to paralyzing effects. A system notification sounded in Chu Bai's mind. Chu Bai was speechless. He was stunned on the spot. What the F***CK? Was this not too exaggerated? This environment really had a chance of paralyzing people. He had only entered for 10 seconds and he was already paralyzed. This probability. Chu Bai looked again and saw that Lil Shuer was also paralyzed and could not move. Chu Bai was speechless. There was a 10% chance of paralysis every second. Was the fourth floor not a little too exaggerated? It's only the fourth floor. Chu Bai muttered to himself. This terrifying effect was already too exaggerated. Chu Bai could not imagine anything more exaggerated than this. Fortunately, I have the life potions. Otherwise, I would have died. No human can survive an abyss-level trial. No wonder there have been no survivors. The effects of the first 3 floors and this floor are not something that humans can survive, Chu Bai muttered to himself. Lil Shuer returned to normal. Wu! She called out to Chu Bai. Chu Bai could sense her emotions. She was a little flustered and worried about Chu Bai. Don't worry, there's no damage. I'll continue to pull aggro, Chu Bai said to Lil Shuer. Lil Shuer nodded. Up ahead, 3 monsters appeared in Chu Bai's line of sight. They were 3 monsters that were golden and white in color. They looked like tigers and lions, but they had golden wings on both sides of their bodies that allowed them to fly. Flying monsters. Chu Bai had a headache. As a melee class, what could he use to fight flying monsters? He could not jump that high even if he wanted to, unless these monsters' ultimate skill was long range. If that was not it, Chu Bai might have to use the Blazing Fire Pearl to deal with these 3 monsters. However, the Blazing Fire Pearl would also be difficult to deal with. For Blazing Fire Pearls, each dealing 10,000 fixed damage. He had no idea what level these 3 monsters were at. Aurora Thunderbolt Beast. Level 15, Grade Yellow, Gold Boss. HP, 40,000. A powerful creature that uses the power of lightning. For some special reason, they evolved a pair of wings made from light, allowing them to fly at a relatively high speed. If they're running, their speed will be extremely fast. Extremely high attack power, and extremely high agility. Abyss-level monster buff bonus. Immune to all control effects. Skills, Cross Lightning. Gathers powerful lightning and releases it from the left and right. After hitting the enemy, it'll cause damage with a 10% chance of 3 seconds of paralysis. The final lightning will cross. If it hits the target after crossing, it'll cause 300% damage with a 100% chance of 3 seconds of paralysis. Cooldown time. 20 seconds. Overload. Uses lightning to enhance the entire body, increasing all attributes by 100% for 15 seconds. Cooldown time. 3 minutes. Thunder Prison. Charges for 1 second after landing. Instantly forms a thunder prison after choosing an area, trapping the target in it. Deals high damage every second and has a 100% chance of paralyzing the target for 3 seconds. The thunder prison lasts for 3 seconds. Cooldown time. 3 minutes. Lightning transformation. Charges up for 0.5 seconds, and the following damage will be converted into pure lightning attacks, increasing attack power by 5 times. Cooldown time. 5 minutes. Chu Bai was speechless. This was F*King ridiculous. There were 3 level .15 yellow gold bosses, and they had a very high chance of paralyzing their targets. On top of that, there was a chance of paralyzing someone every second in this place. How could a normal person survive? I really owe Miss Huang a favor now, Chu Bai muttered to himself. If it was not for her elixir of life, Chu Bai definitely would not be able to continue. Perhaps all of this was fate, just like the name of the game, Fate. However, I'm doomed. The ultimate move isn't a long-range attack. Chu Bai frowned. Let's see if they're easy to fight first. Lil Shuer, release your holy moment. I'll pull the monsters in. You hide. With that, Chu Bai charged toward the 3 gold bosses with the god-slaying calamity in hand. Roar. They let out angry roars and charged toward Chu Bai. 2 of them rushed over, and the other one immediately charged up cross lightning. Slash. The sound of something cutting through the air could be heard. 2 bolts of lightning charged toward Chu Bai in a criss-cross formation. As for the 2 other monsters that charged over, they swiped their claws at Chu Bai one after the other. Ding! You're immune to paralyzing effects. Chu Bai's speed did not slow down. He bent his body slightly and then dodged the one at the front with a Z shake. He then rushed toward the second 1.800. A damage value appeared above the Aurora Thunderbolt beast's head. The criss-cross lightning arrived, and Chu Bai used the opportunity to use Blade Waltz. The bolt of lightning passed through Chu Bai's body, and Chu Bai slashed at the Aurora Thunderbolt beast 5 times. 0.800, 0.1, 600, 0.1, 600, 0.800, 0.8000. His luck was pretty good. Out of the 5 attacks, 2 of them triggered the double damage of God-slaying calamity, and one of them caused 10 times the damage. His HP bar of 40,000 dropped by a third. Triple flame slash. Swoosh. However, all 3 moves missed. He could not hit them at all. Roar. An Aurora Thunderbolt beast roared in anger. Its body was surrounded by lightning. A cage made of golden lightning appeared beside Chu Bai, trapping him in an instant. Whoosh! Chu Bai charged out forcefully. 590. Ding! You're immune to paralyzing effects. Plus 590. Lil Shuer immediately filled Chu Bai's health bar back to full. No, Chu Bai frowned after he rushed out. There were no long-range attacks, and the 3 monsters all had the skill Thunder Prison. This skill was not easy to dodge. If they used Overload or their ultimate skill, Lightning Transformation, to enhance it, Chu Bai might be killed in an instant. I won't drag it out too much. Chu Bai's body slowly rose in flames. He had to forcefully complete this floor. Even though he was reluctant to use his big move, he had no other choice. 2 of them were already releasing Overload. He could not drag it out. Double Phoenix Flight. Call. Chu Bai summoned 2 Phoenix Phantoms. Double Phoenix Flight. A magic attack that summons 2 Phoenix Phantoms. Each Phoenix Phantom can release Feather Impact for 3 seconds, 10 feathers per second. Each feather impact causes damage equal to mana. Mana consumption. 500, cooldown time. 2 days. With his current 950 mana, he could kill them instantly. After that, the 2 phoenixes released their fiery red feathers and quickly attacked an Aurora Thunderbolt beast with a full HP bar. 950, 950. 950, there were a total of 60 of them, and the total damage was as high as 57,000. The speed of the feathers was extremely fast. In just a second, all 60 of them landed on one. Chu Bai did not even have time to control the remaining feathers to attack another beast. In an instant. With one less monster, Chu Bai felt less pressure. He then turned his attention to the Aurora Thunderbolt beast that had lost nearly 1/3 of its HP. Chapter 57. You are listening at novelfull.audio. 57 100 times damage. Chu Bai took out 2 flame beads. He was reluctant to use them as he wanted to use them on the monsters that might be on the next floor. However, he was forced to use them on this floor. Boom. 20,000. It must be instant. Chu Bai then activated the Heavenly Demon Armor skill, Heavenly Demon Protection, and charged forward. Heavenly Demon Protector. Releases the demonic energy within the Heavenly Demon Armor to protect the body. Demonic energy will surround the body for 10 seconds and can block a total of 500 damage. When activated, defense will increase by 20%. When the duration ends or the shield is broken, it'll enter cooldown. Cooldown time. 3 minutes. Before the Aurora Thunderbolt beasts could fly up from the explosion of the flame bead, Chu Bai had already charged over with sudden strike. 200. These monsters were immune to controls, so Chu Bai could not let them fly. However, Chu Bai could not stop them from flying. F***ck. Chu Bai gritted his teeth and threw out another flame bead. 10,002 were killed. There was still the last full HP Aurora Thunderbolt beast. If there was only one, Chu Bai would not have to worry. He would not use the last flame bead and the first move of the Ode of the Phoenix, wind dancing in the sky. Roar! The Aurora Thunderbolt beast roared in anger, and lightning crackled around its body. Overload. Then, it charged toward Chu Bai at an extremely fast speed. Chu Bai dodged to the right and dodged the attack. The god-slaying calamity then slashed at the demon beast's stomach. 800. Lil Shuer's boost was about to end. Lil Shuer stood not far away and watched Chu Bai's battle nervously. From time to time, she would be paralyzed for 3 seconds. She had no combat power at the moment and could only heal Chu Bai. 400. 590. Another attack. It was too fast for Chu Bai to dodge. A huge damage value appeared above his head. If his defense was not high, the damage from this attack would have been close to 800. A level. 15 yellow. Gold boss was really something. The key was that the bosses in the Tower of Trials were much stronger than the ones outside. Chu Bai was level 19. Another Thunder Prison was released. Even though there was time to charge, it was an instant cast, and Chu Bai could not dodge it. 1097. Chu Bai's health bar was almost empty. Plus 935. Lil Shuer used heavenly healing to bring Chu Bai's health bar to a safe level. Chu Bai heaved a long sigh of relief. That was because normally, this Thunder Poison would definitely hit. He had received such high damage because the Aurora Thunderbolt beast had an overload bonus. However, if it had used its ultimate skill, Lightning Transformation, which deals 5 times the damage, then Chu Bai would have been instantly killed. Now, the Thunder Prison was on a 3-minute cooldown, so Chu Bai did not have to worry about being killed instantly. Blade Waltz. 0.400, 0.400, 0.800, 0.400, 0.400. The damage was not high, but the monster did not have any healing skills. Time slowly passed. Chu Bai was draining its HP bit by bit. With Lil Shuer around, Chu Bai would not die. The 3 minutes are almost up. I have to trick him into using his ultimate skill. Otherwise, if it uses Lightning Transformation and Thunder Prison, I'll be killed instantly, Chu Bai muttered as he held the god-slaying calamity. How? He could only forcefully deal damage. The Aurora Thunderbolt beast charged at Chu Bai from the sky. Chu Bai did not move. Lil Shuer added Holy Moment to Chu Bai, making him even more agile. Whoosh! The moment it charged over, Chu Bai jumped onto its body. This is a good opportunity. Then, Chu Bai held the god-slaying calamity and stabbed it repeatedly. 800, 0.800, 0.800. The Aurora Thunderbolt beast continued to fly, trying to shake Chu Bai off. Chu Bai was shaken off and fell to the ground. 0.59. He had not used his big move yet. Chu Bai frowned. The 3 minutes were almost up. Could it be that the Aurora Thunderbolt beast was waiting for the Thunder Prison to cool down before using its ultimate skill? At that moment, the Aurora Thunderbolt beast let out an angry roar and slashed out with its lightning sword. Ding! You've obtained the ultimate skill, Lightning Transformation. Lightning Transformation. The power will be changed to lightning attacks, and the damage will be increased by 5 times. Chu Bai did not use this ultimate skill because there was only one. This ultimate skill could be used on the next floor if he did not use it now. After using it, he could not use it for 10 seconds after leaving the battle. Even if he used it, he would not have enough damage output to insta-kill it. 5 seconds to 3 minutes. Chu Bai had always kept that in mind. In other words, even after the Thunder Prison's cooldown was over, the lightning transformation would still be on cooldown. The Aurora Thunderbolt Beast charged toward Chu Bai with terrifying speed and strength. Chu Bai held his sword and took a deep breath. He was fully focused and could not afford to be careless. Whoosh! Chu Bai dodged the attack from the sky with a Z, then quickly turned around. Triple Flame Slash. .800, .800, .800. These monsters were immune to the knock-up effect. After it ended, Chu Bai could only pull back. Without the boost from overload, even though the damage was explosive, its speed was not particularly exaggerated. Chu Bai could still dodge it. The attack missed, and the Aurora Thunderbolt Beast shot up to a height of nearly 15 meters. In the air, Chu Bai had no way to deal with it. After that, it was forming the Thunder Prison. What should Chu Bai do? At a height of 15 meters, Chu Bai's Blade Waltz skill could not hit it. At that moment, he was having a mental storm. Lil Shuer's invincibility. No need. He would give it a try himself. Lil Shuer did not receive Chu Bai's order. She was very anxious and wanted to release her skills to protect her master. The Heavenly Demon Armor's Heavenly Demon Protection was immediately released after its cooldown was over. It could block 500 damage, and at the same time, its defense had increased by 20%. Even if the Aurora Thunderbolt Beast's damage increased by 5 times, it should not be able to kill him instantly, but it was still hard to say. However, this was just Chu Bai's last resort to be on the safe side. His real goal was to avoid the skill. Whoosh! Chu Bai's speed instantly increased. Haste. Releases the power of Flaming Battle Boots. Effect. Increases movement speed by 50% and leaves a trail of flames in the path of movement. All enemies touched by the flames will receive 100 damage for 10 seconds. Cooldown time. 2 minutes. This was the Flaming Battle Boots supplementary skill. With the help of his increased speed, Chu Bai charged toward a rock in front of him. With the first jump, he landed on the rock. With the second jump, he jumped up from the stone. A height of 5 meters was enough. Blade Waltz. Whoosh! Chu Bai's figure disappeared. The moment he disappeared, the Thunder Prison appeared where he was mere seconds ago. .800, .800, .800, .80000. Ding! You've triggered Divine Slaughter, dealing 10,000% of the damage. The 0.1% chance of dealing 100 times the damage was successfully triggered, clearing the monster's health bar. Ding! You've successfully cleared the Abyss. Level Tower of Trials 4th floor. All 4 basic attributes plus 5. Chu Bai landed on the ground. He heaved a long sigh of relief. Lil Shuer ran to Chu Bai's side and rubbed her head against Chu Bai's legs. Chu Bai knelt down and stroked her gently. That was too dangerous. Fortunately, the distance was enough, or else you would have wasted your invincibility skill. Once your invincibility skill is wasted, I don't think there's any possibility of clearing the trial. With a 12-hour cooldown, Chu Bai had a feeling that the invincibility skill, Light of the Heavenly Fox, would be very useful on the last floor. He quickly recovered his mana and gave Lil Shuer some mana potions to recover. Whoosh! The light flashed. The 2 of them disappeared again. Ding! You've arrived on the 5th floor of the Abyss. Level Tower of Trials. Chapter 58. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. 58. The 7 Evils, Gluttony. The 5th floor. This should be the last floor, right? Chu Bai heaved a sigh of relief and opened his eyes with Lil Shuer. In front of them, in a small space, a boss shook its body, then stared at them with red eyes and roared. It was a black-red tiger-like monster. It was more than 5 meters tall, with blood-red eyes, 2 sharp spikes on its forehead, and thick limbs. Black-blooded combat tiger. Level 20, Grade Yellow, Gold Boss. HP 80,000. A fearsome existence with a powerful combat bloodline. Its speed, defense, and attack are extremely powerful. It's the lord of the region. Abyss.level monster buff bonus. All attacks have a 10% chance to trigger instant death. Skills, Beast King's Flash. Teleports behind a target and attacks, doubling the damage. Cooldown time 20 seconds. Beast King's Roar. With a roar, all targets within 10 meters of the user will be sent flying and dealt great damage. Cooldown time 1 minute. 100 Beast Soul, Crushing. With a roar, all targets will have their attributes reduced by 50%, except for HP, and defense reduced by 100%. This lasts for 30 seconds. Cooldown time 3 minutes. Flying Tiger Soul Reaper. Locks onto a target, teleports in front of the target, and quickly causes 5 damage points in 0.5 seconds. Once hit, the target will enter a 1-second stun. Cooldown time 5 minutes. Chew by Frowned. This should be the last floor. After all, this monster was a lord. Moreover, these attributes and skills were simply ridiculous. It's unfortunate that my lightning transformation is useless. Chew by laughed. This floor was simple. Lil Schwer, retreat. Chew Bai did not hesitate to bring Lil Schwer and distance himself from the black-blooded combat tiger. As he did so, he used his lightning transformation skill. Ding! You've used lightning transformation. Your damage is increased by 5 times, and your attacks will become lightning damage. After charging for 0.5 seconds, Chew Bai paused for a moment. His body was surrounded by lightning. Then, he continued to run. Let's go. Roar. The black-blooded combat tiger roared in anger and used the 100 Beast Soul crushing skill. Ding! You're immune to the attribute debuffs. At Chew Bai's signal, Lil Schwer also used the Light of the Holy Spirit. She was also immune to this attribute. Reducing effect. One chased, while the other ran. The distance between them increased slightly. Ding! You've used lightning transformation. Your damage has been increased by 5 times. Another 0.5 seconds of charging. This time, the black-blooded combat tiger had caught up. A claw smacked toward Chew Bai. Chew Bai dodged to the side and attacked it in passing, continuing his battle mode. Then, he ran away. He still needed another boost. This way, the damage would be instant. That was right. Why did Chew Bai insist on keeping this skill? This was because the skill's description did not specify that the effects could not be stacked. It did not say that the effects could not be stacked, which meant that they could. The facts prove that it was indeed possible. If it had only been cast 2 times and Lil Schwer still had her holy moment, the monster could have been instantly killed. However, Lil Schwer's holy moment's cooldown was not over yet. Triple Flame Slash. Chew Bai released it as he ran. The first and second slashes were sent out. The Beast King's Flash. The black-blooded combat tiger appeared behind Chew Bai. Just nice. The third slash. It was sent flying. Lightning transformation. Ding! You've used lightning transformation. Your damage will be increased by 5 times. He had already used 3 buffs. Blade Waltz. .51, 250, .51, 250. The explosion damage directly emerged from the top of the black-blooded combat tiger's head. Instant kill. If an attack of 410 was multiplied 5 times, it would be 2050. If it was multiplied another 5 times, it would be 10,250. If it was multiplied another 5 times, it would be 51,250. If he only used it twice, the blade waltz would deal 10,000 damage each time. If he used it 5 times and did not trigger the double effect, he would only deal 50,000 damage. Chu Bai would be in danger after that. It was better to release it once more and instantly kill it. Phew. Clear. Chu Bai heaved a long sigh of relief. It was very mentally tiring, but fortunately, he had the ultimate move that he had obtained before, so he passed the last floor with ease. Lil Shuer called out happily. Ding! Congratulations, you've passed the Abyss. Level Tower of Trials 5th floor. All 4 basic attributes plus 10. What? Chu Bai was stunned. This boss isn't the last floor. Chu Bai frowned and stood still. It was a level .20 yellow. Gold boss with 80,000 HP and a deadly skill. In theory, only a level .10 player would be able to enter. This was such a high difficulty floor, but this was not the last floor. Just then, Chu Bai and Lil Shuer disappeared from where they were. Ding! You've arrived at the Abyss. Level Tower of Trials, Final Trial. The system notification came. Chu Bai was speechless. Something King big had happened. Fortunately, he was not confident enough to let Lil Shuer use her invincible light of the Heavenly Fox. He also had his ultimate move, Wind Dancing in the Sky, as well as a flame bead. Chu Bai scanned his surroundings vigilantly. This was a very flat area with nothing but 3 stone pillars that were a few meters tall. One would not even see the small stone. There was a monster sleeping in a corner ahead. Only one boss. Could it be a level .30 yellow. Gold boss? After all, the floor before was a level .20 yellow. Gold boss. Chu Bai released his detection skill. 7 evils, gluttony. Level 20, grade. Dark demon. HP, 500,000. It was originally a mysterious power. Because it was too powerful, it could transform into a beast that could swallow everything. It was as if there was endless space in its body. 10,000 years ago, the 3 goddesses discovered the existence of gluttony and sent it to Starter Village 7777. It was then placed in the Abyss. Level Tower of Trials as the ultimate boss. Over the years, gluttony's power has been continuously devoured, and its power is now less than 1/10,000 of its previous power. Abyss. Level Monster Buff Bonus. Immune to lightning attribute attacks, immune to instant death effect. Passive skills, gluttony. It can devour all energy and will not suffer any damage. Misfortune. Curses a target. For the next 5 minutes, all of the target's attacks will not hit. Cooldown time. 5 minutes. Darkness stems from the heart. Curses a target, causing all of their attributes, excluding HP, to decrease by 50%. It'll last for 1 minute. Cooldown time. 5 minutes. Endless Devour. Opens its bloody mouth and releases a powerful suction force, devouring the enemy into its mouth. Lasts for 10 seconds, causing instant death. Cooldown time. 5 minutes. Different paths to the same destination. Reduces its own HP and chooses a target to lose the same amount of HP. Cooldown time. 10 minutes. 7 evils, gluttony. Chooses a target, and if the target's level is lower than the user's, the target will be devoured regardless of grade or level. Cooldown time. 15 days. Chu Bai was speechless. Chapter 59. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. 59. An impossible battle. Chu Bai was stunned. Gluttony. The 7 evils, gluttony. One of the sources of the god-slaying calamity's power was actually in the Abyss. Level Tower of Trials Final Trial. Chu Bai was pleasantly surprised. However, level point 20 Dark Demon, 500,000 HP. Chu Bai had 2020 HP now, so he should be. He would not be instantly killed, right? Including passive skills, it had a total of 6 skills. Its passive skill was that its mouth could devour all power without causing any damage. In other words, if Chu Bai had any long-range attacks, it could just swallow them directly. Luckily, Chu Bai was immune to misfortune, and darkness stems from the heart. Endless Devour would devour him into its stomach and cause instant death. Different paths to the same destination. If it took the initiative to sacrifice its HP, the target would also lose the same amount. Was this not also an insticle skill? The last skill, F***CK. Another insticle skill. How could they fight this? Was this an impossible battle? No matter if we can do it or not, we have to at least try. Chu Bai clenched the god-slaying calamity in his hand. Fate had brought him to meet Gluttony, so he naturally had to compete with it. Moreover, Chu Bai was no longer upset that he had used lightning transformation because this boss was immune to lightning attacks. Lightning transformation would turn all attacks into lightning-type damage. Gluttony was still lying there. If I accidentally trigger the 10,000 times damage of Divine Slaughter, I can almost kill it in seconds. Chu Bai suddenly realized that it was not impossible to fight this monster. He would drag it out bit by bit, dragging out this 0.01% chance. Because what if? What if it could be defeated? Chu Bai walked over while it was sleeping. Lil Shuer ran not far away. Then, white light emerged from her and Chu Bai's bodies. It was holy moment. A sneak attack. Triple flame slash. 0.860, 0.860, 0.1720. Each floor increased 4 basic attributes, and Chu Bai's attack was now 430. Roar. Gluttony roared in anger as it was attacked. However, it was still in a flying state. Blade Waltz. 0.860, 0.860, 0.1720, 0.1720, 0.860. The two skills triggered the 200% damage of Divine Slaughter 3 times. It lost 9,460 HP out of 500,000. It was close to 10,000 HP. This battle could be fought. That was 1/50th of it. Gluttony stood up and pounced at Chu Bai. The height and distance of this jump were outrageous. Chu Bai jumped back. Gluttony landed where Chu Bai had been, and its claw missed. Sudden strike. Whoosh. Chu Bai suddenly appeared behind Gluttony. 290. Swordsman slash. 0.1032. Gluttony turned around and swiped at Chu Bai with its claws. Chu Bai wanted to dodge, but his agility could not keep up, and his chest received some of the impact. 1011. A huge amount of damage instantly emptied half of Chu Bai's health bar. Lil Shuer. Lil Shuer cried out and released Heavenly Healing. Plus 1011. His HP was full. Chu Bai then released Haste and took a look at the amount of mana recovery potions he had. He still had 13 small bottles and 16 medium bottles. I'm afraid it'll be difficult. However, Chu Bai would not let go of any opportunity to attack Gluttony, because he still wanted to trigger the 10,000 times damage. Sudden strike. Chu Bai, who was running away, suddenly charged over again. 290. However, a dark demon monster was truly a dark demon monster. Its reaction speed made it difficult for Chu Bai to fight like he did with normal monsters. After the sudden attack, Gluttony seemed to know the effect of Chu Bai's skill. It immediately turned around and bit Chu Bai's arm. Heavenly Demon Protection. Chu Bai also reacted quickly and released the skill of the Heavenly Demon Armor. For 49, the shield blocked 500 points of damage, and his defense increased by 20%, allowing Chu Bai to take less damage. No, it was difficult for him to attack this monster effectively, so he could only find an opportunity. This was an extremely long battle. He had to be on full alert. He could not try to forcefully deal damage, so he could only attack bit by bit through the difficult gaps. Even if Chu Bai obtained this boss ultimate skill, it would be useless. He was at level 19, while Gluttony was at level 20. With Lil Shuer's holy moment, Chu Bai was able to maintain his speed and get closer to Gluttony. The effect of the holy moment was about to end. I can't even run. Chu Bai focused his attention on the 3 stone pillars. Lil Shuer was standing on one of them. Behind him, Gluttony leaped up and tried to hit Chu Bai. Chu Bai immediately hid behind a stone pillar. In this place, without the destruction attribute, these buildings were invincible. Bang! Gluttony crashed into the stone pillar. Chu Bai, who was behind the stone pillar, quickly extended his god-slaying calamity and stabbed Gluttony. 860. Chu Bai's eyes lit up. He seemed to have found a way to deal with Gluttony. Roar! Gluttony stood up and shook its head, which was hurting from the collision, before it gave chase again. Chu Bai was running around the 3 pillars. This running method seemed to disgust Gluttony, as black light burst out from its body. The skill, Darkness from the Heart, was released. Ding! You're immune to the attribute debuffs. Chu Bai focused all his attention on the battle. He had to ensure that he lost as little HP as possible and not be attacked. He had to find any opportunity to attack Gluttony. Otherwise, he would eventually die if this continued. Lil Shuer would run out of mana sooner or later. When Gluttony saw that it could not do anything to Chu Bai anytime soon, it was furious. Roar! Gluttony roared and jumped to the top of a stone pillar, where it saw Lil Shuer. Lil Shuer then ran away. Her mission was to protect herself and replenish Chu Bai's HP. She did not need to fight. Gluttony did not seem to care about Lil Shuer as it opened its mouth. When it opened its mouth, it was quite scary. Apart from its sharp teeth and mucus, its jaw was far too wide. Lil Shuer, go and hide behind a stone pillar, Chu Bai called out to Lil Shuer. Lil Shuer naturally understood. Chu Bai was there to attract the attention of Gluttony. Gluttony's skill, Endless Devour, was released. A suction force that could be seen with the naked eye rushed into its mouth, and Gluttony's target was Chu Bai. In the first instant, Chu Bai's right foot was within the range of the suction. At that moment, he felt a pair of hands pulling his ankle in one direction. Fortunately, only one of his feet was within the range of the suction force, and he managed to break free. Haste. Activating haste, Chu Bai's speed increased as he ran around the space. Meanwhile, Gluttony turned its head and aimed its mouth at Chu Bai. Lil Shuer watched nervously. One had to know that Gluttony was very smart. When it saw the direction Chu Bai was running in, it immediately aimed its mouth at Chu Bai's next step. Before Chu Bai's feet even touched the ground, he felt weightless. Chu Bai's pupils shrank. F***ck. He had been hit. Chu Bai was quickly sucked in and approached Gluttony's mouth in the air. Entering the mouth meant death. Chapter 60. You are listening at novelfull.audio. 60. The light of the heavenly fox shows its power. 5 seconds of invincibility. Naturally, Chu Bai would not just wait for death. Lil Shuer wanted to give Chu Bai the light of the heavenly fox. In that case, even if Chu Bai was sucked in, he would not die. He might not even be sucked in according to the system's restrictions. However, their hearts were connected, and Lil Shuer could probably sense what Chu Bai was thinking. Just as Chu Bai was about to be sucked in. Blade Waltz. One could only say that the 10-meter range of the waltz and the non-dot selection effect were too powerful. Chu Bai loved this skill a lot. Chu Bai disappeared immediately after the release of the Blade Waltz, turning the situation around and dealing 5 levels of damage to Gluttony. 430, 430, 860, 430, 430. Ding! You've triggered the 200% damage effect of Divine Slaughter. He could still deal more than 20,000 damage. In fact, the damage was quite considerable, even though it did not seem to hurt the boss with 500,000 HP. Chu Bai only hated himself for not bringing enough magic recovery potions. After the skill ended, Chu Bai dodged behind Gluttony and stabbed it. After that, he kicked it down. Gluttony was using Endless Devour, and he could not fight back. After landing, this skill was interrupted by Chu Bai. In the next 5 minutes, he did not have to worry about the skill Endless Devour. Chu Bai definitely could not use Blade Waltz as a skill to deal damage. He had to use this skill as a way to save his life. There was also 7 Evils, Gluttony. These 2 skills had the ability to kill Chu Bai in an instant. His confidence came from Lil Schwer's invincibility and resurrection skills. However, no matter which one it was, he would not use it if he could. Once the skills were released, he did not know what would happen after that, and his chances of survival would be reduced. Chu Bai continued to fight the monster. He was extremely focused. Finally, Gluttony could not take it anymore. It let out an angry roar, and a black light shot up into the sky, charging toward Chu Bai. This should be different paths to the same destination. Chu Bai frowned. 10,000. Gluttony lost 10,000 HP. However, this skill was a force that charged toward Chu Bai. Even though it was extremely fast. Since it was such a model, it should be possible. He dodged. Blade Waltz. Swoosh. As expected, Chu Bai dodged it. Gluttony's eyes were filled with confusion. How did this person dodge it? Chu Bai landed on the ground. Bang! Then, he was struck by Gluttony's claw. Gluttony was too smart. Due to Chu Bai's previous attacks, he even knew where Chu Bai's skills would land. After seeing Chu Bai use his skills, he immediately looked for Chu Bai's landing points. Chu Bai, who had just landed, did not teleport, so he could not avoid it. 1011. A huge amount of damage caused Chu Bai's HP bar to drop by half again. Plus 1011. Lil Schwer filled up Chu Bai's blood volume. It was then that Gluttony finally noticed Lil Schwer's presence. Roar. It roared and ignored Chu Bai. It targeted Lil Schwer instead. Obviously, it was too smart. It knew that if it wanted to kill the human in front of it, it had to get rid of this little fox. Lil Schwer. Chu Bai was shocked. What he was worried about had happened. Gluttony had turned its attention to Lil Schwer. Did Chu Bai have any ideas? He had no other choice. He could only put Lil Schwer into the pet space, but that would require the pet to be out of battle and still for more than 5 seconds. In the current situation, Chu Bai could not even take her back. Lil Schwer ran away. Gluttony chased after her. Lil Schwer, holy moment. Woo-woo, following that, Lil Schwer and Chu Bai's speed doubled. Triple flame slash. Chu Bai chased after Gluttony as he released his skills. 860, 860, 1720. Gluttony was sent flying. After being sent flying, Chu Bai immediately launched 3 consecutive attacks. This time, it dealt 6,000 damage. Gluttony shook its head as it got up. It glanced at Chu Bai before chasing after Lil Schwer. Chu Bai caught up to Gluttony and poked its butt with the God-slaying Calamity. 860, 860. Roar. Gluttony was furious. It cast darkness stems from the heart at Lil Schwer, but Lil Schwer used the light of the Holy Spirit to dispel the effect. Gluttony was obviously dumbfounded. Why was its powerful skill useless against the 2 of them? Then, it jumped onto a stone pillar, locked onto Lil Schwer's position, and jumped down. This jump was more than 20 meters. Lil Schwer. Chu Bai was shocked. 233. More than 1/3 of Lil Schwer's 3,400 HP bar was emptied. She screamed and rolled on the ground. After rolling, she got up and quickly ran away. Gluttony roared at the sky. A black light gushed out from his and Lil Schwer's bodies at the same time. Chu Bai's pupils shrank. This was 7 evils, gluttony. It was a skill that could forcefully lock onto the target and could not be avoided. This was the only skill it had left. Ding! You've obtained the ultimate skill, 7 evils, gluttony. This bastard actually used this ultimate move to lock onto Lil Schwer. Lil Schwer, light of the heavenly fox. Chu Bai shouted. Woo-woo, then, the two of them were enveloped by a golden light. Ding, you've been blessed by the light of the heavenly fox. You'll be invincible for 3 seconds. Lil Schwer's mana had also dropped below half after using this skill, leaving her with less than 15,000 mana. After all, she had been using her skills all this time. Lil Schwer, come back. Chu Bai had to take advantage of the light of the heavenly fox to get Lil Schwer back. Woo-woo, Lil Schwer stood still. Gluttony's claws were blocked by the golden light and could not be moved. Chu Bai took advantage of his invincibility, and his attacks landed on Gluttony like a storm. 430.860.430. He just could not deal 10,000 times the damage. Lil Schwer, continued to use the light of the heavenly fox for 2 more seconds. He needed 2 more seconds of the light of the heavenly fox to be invincible for 5 more seconds before Chu Bai could take her back. If he did not take her back this time, he might not have the chance anymore. Moreover, Lil Schwer did not have enough mana. Lil Schwer continued to use the light of the heavenly fox for another 2 seconds, and her mana was reduced by another 10,000. Then, she turned into a white light and entered the pet space. It's just you and me. Chu Bai held the god-slaying calamity and looked at Gluttony. Its eyes were filled with determination and battle intent. Lil Schwer had already done enough. From now on, Chu Bai only needed to be on guard against its attacks, endless devour and different paths to the same destination. Its most powerful skill had already entered the 15-day cooldown. The real battle with full concentration began now. He needed to be more focused than before. Whoosh! Chu Bai used sudden strike and charged forward. Gluttony once again found Chu Bai's landing spot and struck with its claws. I've already guessed it. Then, Chu Bai immediately released Swordsman's Slash, hitting Gluttony and causing it to miss. He then returned to his original position. Let me see if you can endure it longer than I can. Chu Bai's eyes were bloodshot.